Welcome to David versus Film. I am David, yo soy David, and tonight I'm going head-to-head with acting legends on the Graham Norton Show, UK versus the USA. A big hey, hi, and hello to all of you, but to returning viewers, and especially returning subscribers, what's up? As you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it 1,000 times, I am always in awe with the amazing caliber of guests that Graham Norton gets on his show every single time. Even if I don't know who they are, you guys always tell me, hey, check out that person, they're incredible. Hey, you need to watch more of this person, I think you would like him or her. Every time. And so I can only imagine what is to come in a compilation video called Acting Legends on the Graham Norton Show. I would expect to know all of these folks. I might not know the other guests that are on the couch as usual, but I think that I should know the main ones. I hope anyway. I should know the American. If I don't know the American ones, I should just pack this up and stop right now. That's all I'm going to say. But hopefully I'm going to know a lot of the British folks as well. I am so glad you're watching this with me because these Graham Norton videos, they're just happy. They're just good things to watch to make your day better if you're having a rough one, to make it, even better if you're having a good one. You just can't go wrong with Graham Norton. Am I right? So we're going to jump in. I should be able to include all of this as from the original content, but sometimes I do have to cut certain things out. You can always find the full unedited version plus some other really cool stuff and exclusive over on my Patreon, patreon.com/DavidVersusFilm. I love that you're watching here on YouTube. Please subscribe if you want to see more content like this, but more than anything, leave those amazing comments like you guys always do. It's not only how I get to know you better, it's how I learn more about the show and the people who are on it. So thank you in advance for all of that. But for now, boys and girls, let us jump on into Graham Norton's Acting Legends, UK versus the USA.
Speaking of hit movies, Shawshank Redemption, obviously,
great movie.
one of your most, everyone loves that movie.
Such a good movie. So good. So good.
And that's one of those movies, anyone puts their, best films of all time list together, it's always
it's always on there.
It's always on there. And yet, that film has never been a hit.
Tanked at the box office.
Really?
And the reason for that is, of course, is that the only real marketing movies get, I think, is word of mouth. You can promote it all you want, but if the first few audiences go there and come back and can't say, I really saw this great film, then you're not going to go very far.
That's
so
true.
people went to see
That's
the Shawshank Redemption, and then they came back, oh, man, I saw this really terrific movie. It's called the Shank Sham.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
One lady saw me in the elevator one time. She said, oh, I saw you in the Hudsucker Reduction.
Close.
So if you can't get word across, then it just doesn't do well.
Yeah,
you know, you can't say it.
That's why Alfie did well.
Boom, we got it. Was that the film that turned you into sort of Mr. Narration?
Yeah, that was it.
Because it's so special, that narration. And now, we have got a little kind of Shawshank mashup. So would you mind lending your voice to it? I go on.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
He's like, all right, yeah, let's do it. I can get asked all the time, right?
I must admit I didn't think much of Graham Norton first time I laid eyes on him. Looked like a stiff breeze could blow him over. That was my first impression of the man. I could see why some people took him for annoying. He had a walk and a talk that just wasn't normal around here. And boy, did he drink. He drank like a man without a care or worry in the world. I hope to finish this talk show one day. I hope Michael stops talking for just once. I hope people stop asking me to do stupid voiceovers like this. I hope.
Oh,
so good. He's so good.
Very good. Thank you very much.
I mean, right?
And wasn't there a thing
And
in a
Michael
medical
Caine, too.
emergency
I mean...
on Cranford? Where you were
Oh,
in-
Lord. And y'all know, let me pause it right now. Y'all know my obsession with two great ladies. Olivia Colman is one, obviously, and Dame Judi Dench. I just cannot get enough of either of them. So, I mean, already off to a great start, by the way, with Michael Caine. I believe Sir Michael Caine, if I'm not mistaken, and Morgan Freeman. But, I mean, we got nowhere to go but up with Dame Judi.
Full garb.
Oh, a tooth.
Yes.
During a scene, we were doing a scene, and I had to say, and look at the... I said, it's my tooth. My tooth's come out. So they said, well, we'll get you organised. And we were out at Ealing. So they said, yes, the dentist, we will see you. They said, unfortunately, there isn't time for you to get out of all this and this and this and this and this and this. You have to just go as you are. So I did. And I went down to the surgery. And I walked in, and they said, he'll be coming now. Nobody took a blind bit of notice of me. And he said, oh, right, just come and sit back here. And so I lay back, and he said, open your mouth. He said, are you working at all?
That's good.
No, I just get dressed up like this to go to the dentist.
I always wear a bonnet when I go to the dentist. Yes.
I'm an
I don't know
actress.
her. I know Dev Patel.
Silly.
I don't know the other lady there.
And what was amazing reading about you, preparing for this, I did prepare, seriously, was that given how kind of long and illustrious your career has been, the big success, the kind of the movie success and the American success, that came relatively late and relatively recently.
Well, it did come late. It came with Mrs. Brown.
Oh, I told you guys I'm going to work hard not to pause during the stories because they're so good. And I am glad, by the way, we're getting a lot of time, it looks like, with each one of these segments. But I just want to say quickly, I love Mrs. Brown. It's one of those movies that was one of my nerd obsessions when I was younger. And I watched it so many times. Really, really fine film.
It was actually originally made for television, directed by John Madden, who's directed the film that Dev and I are in at the moment. And then suddenly I got a film career and went back to America after 38 years. I'd been there with Yo Vic.
So you hadn't been to America for 38
I had never
years?
been back because I had such a wonderful time 38 years ago that I thought I never want to come back. It'll never be the same. And then I went back and everybody in America said, apart from Mrs. Brown and M in the Bond films, what other work have you done? So, you know, I thought, well, that's the whole of Shakespeare, Chekhov, but it was wonderful. It was thrilling.
And of course you were Oscar nominated for that.
Yes.
And I think I've got a picture of you and Mrs. Brown. Sorry.
Oh, my God. I can't remember that character's name, and I know I've seen that character before.
Silly joke.
This is Brown.
Here you are with Billy Connolly.
Billy.
And now I'm confused really
The
about...
farting horse. That's the farting.
Really?
I want to know about the farting.
Every step.
Was there something wrong with it?
Well, you ask the horse.
How often would it...
Every step.
Every step? That's terrible. So if you listen to the soundtrack of Mrs. Brown...
I think they put music over it.
Yes.
Oh, God,
Mrs.
that's
Brown,
hilarious.
When Mrs. Brown came along, then you were off.
Editor's
like a racehorse.
nightmare.
The next one, Shakespeare in Love, you won the Oscar for. There you are. And that isn't a great
I never saw that
but
one.
And winning the Oscar for that, you were, you know, it's not the largest role in the world.
It's a very little role.
That's why I was trying to avoid saying. You're hardly in it. But, so, were the other actresses who were...
You've changed since then. You were so polite once to me.
But were the other actresses a bit peed off that you... lady who worked for 8 minutes went off with
Well,
Oscar.
I didn't ask, did I?
No, you were just...
I just took it and went.
She's so great.
This is a huge congratulations, Golden Globe nomination.
Thank you.
Oh, Meryl.
This deserves even more.
These are
It's your
legends.
29th Golden Globe nomination. 29 of them.
I know.
That's phenomenal. It's a good thing.
I'm so old.
He's only been in 26 movies, which is the amazing part.
I remember this
Some of them are
couch.
so good.
This is a good one.
But
I've seen a
here's
few of
the
these
thing,
clips.
like,
I don't
obviously
know
now
this
it's
one
a
yet,
well-oiled
but
machine, and it's sort of, you know, stylists and this and that, and
Yeah,
be
if
here,
only,
da-da-da.
yeah.
But back when you started going, back in kind of the Deer Hunter, Kramer versus Kramer days, was it very different?
It was very different. It was, the Golden Globes was a little afternoon event that was held at lunchtime, and it was on closed circuit television for the Los Angeles area, Los Angeles County only. I remember Jack Nicholson was there really drunk at 1:15 in the afternoon.
yeah, because they can
It was
drink.
great, you know, just go forever. But I was there after Kramer versus Kramer giving birth to my first child. And in those days, I didn't have, you know, they didn't lend you dresses, so you had to buy something, and I didn't have any.
Oh yeah, I've heard this.
money.
Yeah, I've heard this
So
story.
I wore my wedding
always
dress,
good.
as you would. And it was a perfectly nice white silk dress. But the luncheon went on, you know, and I was breastfeeding, and 2 o'clock came, 3 o'clock came, 4 o'clock came, and
Milkmaid.
in a white dress, white silk dress. So I sat like this, and they called my name. I won, and I walked up. I got it. And I said, "Thank you very much." And they thought I was so odd, you know, but it was so embarrassing. But only to LA County, so no one else saw it.
Now, the thing is, I think this is
Stars,
comforting.
they're just
People,
like us.
young actors out there should take solace, because although the success was very fast and everything,
Yeah.
not all the auditions went that brilliantly
I know.
in the beginning. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
No.
The well, maybe
Devil Wears Prada face comes over.
The one with Dino De Laurentiis.
Oh, auditioning, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. Well, that was for King Kong.
Not for
the
Kim.
girl.
Yeah, for the girl. She's very good.
Now I could play the other one. Now I got that down. But yeah, that was Dino De Laurentiis Sr. And his son had seen me in a play. And so I went up to the top of the Gulf and Western building, like the 33rd floor, and he had this amazing office that looked all over Manhattan, and he was back there. And I walked in, and his son was sitting there, very excited that he'd brought in this new actress. And the father said to his son, in Italian, because I understand Italian, he said, "Che brutta." You know, why do you bring me this ugly thing? Whoa. Yeah. Very sobering, you know, as a young girl. So I said to him, "Mi dispiace molto, you know, but I understand what you're saying. I'm sorry I'm not beautiful enough to be in King Kong."
Oh, that's the Meryl I love right there. She's so really funny. I mean, great dramatic actress, but really funny.
And I've said no to it, I don't know how many times, because I thought it was an impenetrably difficult part.
Why'd you say yes now?
Well, Robert Icke, who's directing it, has a charmed tongue. And
These two. Legend.
Quite the audition.
I have to reiterate, this is a major cultural moment. Ian McKellen is going to play Falstaff. This is a huge deal.
I've played Falstaff.
Have you? No. Ian's Macbeth is legendary. Yeah. I saw him doing Richard III when I was at drama school in 1990. It was, you know, all these performances are like landmark performances, and we are about to get him playing Falstaff. This is an extraordinary moment.
This is what actors do. They're very nice about each other. People think we're bitchy, but we're not. We all adore each other. Full of admiration as I am for you. We won't go through all your career. No. I'm sure you're going to do that.
But listen, if people can't get to Manchester, Wimbledon or the West End, Ian's other Shakespearean project is hitting cinemas. It's your special cinema adaptation of Hamlet, and it's one night only. This is the 27th of this month.
Yes, is it?
Yeah.
All right.
I know it's past at this point, but it's still always nice.
When I was 82, I played Hamlet. Oh, dear. Sean Mathias, who's a director I work with most, had this idea that I might be able to give a new aspect to a part that many, many people, including Michael, have played. And eventually I succumbed and agreed. And then we had COVID and we couldn't do the play. And we had the idea that we might film it, because that doesn't require an audience or too many masks. And we did it in the Theatre Royal Windsor. That was Elsinore, where the Hamlet and his family live. We don't do much on the stage.
So this isn't a film of the eventual stage.
No, it's not.
This is something else.
This is a film, a cinematic film.
Okay.
But using the empty theatre as our palace. So we're on in the dressing rooms, in the corridors, in the auditorium, and one night on the roof, because Hamlet meets the ghost of his father on the battlements of Elsinore. And in the background was the Windsor Castle, all in darkness because the Prince Philip had died. Right. And I said, give it a go, see if they wouldn't mind. And so we asked, could we have the castle lit up so it would look good in the background of our shop? And the word came back, certainly. And yes, it was the Queen. It was well known, didn't like Shakespeare.
Did she not?
No, and in fact, although she was, I think, the president of the Royal Shakespeare Company, said she would come to Stratford, but as long as they weren't doing Shakespeare.
You know, that thing they do.
and then I thought, I wonder if there's something behind the wonderful speech that her son gave on her death about how much he'd loved her and everything. And he then ended his speech by saying, good night, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest, which is from the play Hamlet, written to his mother, who we all know hated Shakespeare.
Well, jab.
You can cut that out.
We're so keeping it in.
He's so great.
We'll love it.
I just love that you were able to call Windsor Castle and go, can you switch the lights on, please?
Yes.
I can barely get Deliveroo to show up on it.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah, so I just have to say, I mean, Sir Ian McKellen, come on, like he's so great. But so that's somewhat recent then, because he mentioned COVID and whatnot. So, you know, and some of these clips are older, but it's nice when they're not that old, because then I don't feel so far behind. Only, what is it, like 8,700 seasons I haven't seen?
Here, let us celebrate you. This is the bit where I talk for a long time.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying this.
It's early days. But no, you are one of the elite. Your films have grossed almost $6 billion worldwide.
Christ. Yeah, I guess,
That's a lot of money. So, I suppose, here comes a question. When was the last time...
How much of it did I get?
Well, there's that. I am interested in that, but... No, I was wondering, when was the last time you walked in somewhere and people just kind of went, hello, how may I help you? I mean, are there countries you can go to where they don't know who you are?
Yeah.
But where?
England.
In England, no one says, how may I help you? But that's just because everyone in every shop here is so rude.
Well, have you walked through Britain unmolested?
I would have taken a canal boat through Britain and not been noticed or you know, run into anybody looking.
Was that by choice? Was that a holiday or?
Yeah, you've never done it, have you?
No.
It's quite good.
How would it be accidental? Like you hail a cab and then you're like, oh no, this is a canal boat, I've done it again.
I've done it again.
Looking for a very dull television series about, you know, Harrison canals.
Yeah.
But was it not a bit boring?
Yes.
But you like that?
That's what I like.
After the hurly-burly.
When people come up to me and say, are you Harrison Ford? My usual answer is, I used to be. It takes a while for them to figure it out. What
By that time, you pushed them in the canal.
But was it very cool being a dad? Like, you must have trounced every other father at the school gate. Because, you know, you were Han Solo, you were Indiana Jones. I mean, how amazing that that's your dad.
But frankly, my kids could give a
That, I believe that, actually.
And would not deign to be friends with anybody who did care.
Oh, really?
No. But the first part's absolutely true. They've never really cared that much about it because they're growing up in the sausage factory. My wife is an actress. I'm an actress. It just doesn't really matter to my kids.
Yeah. So, your films have earned $6 billion, a lot of people will be resting on the laurels, but you are working as hard as ever. Your latest film, Ender's Game, we'll talk about it in a second. Yeah. And I just wondered, that work ethic, does that come from the fact that at the other end of your career...
it comes from the fact that I spent it all. I still have to go to work.
More money, more problems, Harrison.
No, I like to work. I love working. I can't imagine what I would, what I'd do all day long if I didn't work occasionally.
And famously, obviously, you were a carpenter when you started out.
I started out as an actor, and I became a carpenter because I didn't like the kind of work I was...
So do you still do carpentry? Do you still...
not so much. Not so much.
Good, that's the important thing.
His people that does it for him, I'm
sure.
sure.
You see, like, they go and maybe after filming, they're like, oh, I need to go home and have a bath and maybe read some poetry to unwind. Like Harrison, when the director shouts cut, probably opens a can of beer, then builds a shed.
That's funny.
I mean,
and I will say, oh Lord, I can already tell it's going to be a good segment coming up. I was going to say, I totally believe that about your kids not giving a shit about who you are when you're famous, because I've always joked that, like, for any of the rest of us, you know what I mean? If Cher showed up and started singing, we'd be like phones out recording the whole thing. But, like, at one point, her kids are just like, oh, fuck me again with the singing, because she just shut up for a sec. You know what I mean? And I'm sure Adele's kid's going to feel the same way, and all the rest of them, right? Because that's just the world they live in. But for the rest of us, we'd be like, oh, give me 5 minutes. I would just die if that happened. But their kids are like, oh, Jesus Christ. But yeah, so again, another famous dame that I can even... It's funny because I can't even see her yet, but I can just tell by that haircut, I know who's coming.
Intimidating when Dame Maggie Smith is on the set. For you. Not for you.
I know him from The Crown.
I point you around.
That's it.
No, it's not intimidating. We've worked...
Yes, it is.
Liar. Oh, bless her heart.
I'll tell you something. I was much more intimidated because every single person on that set had been at the National with Nick Heitner, or they'd been in the History Boys. So I was such an outsider you wouldn't believe. I really felt that I ought to audition. I really did.
Well, you did the play, that.
No, but I felt like an outsider. You were all very cliquey.
Were we?
Yes, you were. And it made me feel very, very not one. So I don't know why you were.
She's so great, but she would scare the shit out of me in real life.
Do you know what it's like from the other side? Because I've read in interviews you talked about
very intimidating,
how intimidating
I feel like.
you found it when you, back in the 60s, when you worked with Laurence Olivier.
Hello.
Yeah. Because it sounds like he was very tough.
Well, yes, but I mean, I think everybody who worked with him they were in awe. And he hit me very hard one night.
You're kidding?
No, I'm not.
On stage?
Yes, he was a bit cross with me. And at one point he had to say, "Out, devil." And he slapped me. And I hit the floor, and I think it was Edward Petherbridge, who was a Venetian gentleman, apparently said, "Oh, Mags."
Oh, Mags.
But I don't remember, because I literally went out, and I remember saying, Well, I did see stars at the National Theatre. I really did.
But when you did Desdemona to his Othello, it does sound like you gave as good as you got.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's... You mean... Oh,
yeah.
Yes, this was when he was doing Othello, and he was wearing all that makeup, all that... And I used to stick his eyelashes on for him. These great big eyelashes. And he said... I went in one night and he said, "Oh, darling Maggie, I've been meaning to tell you, I think your vowels are not really very good, so, you know, could you watch it?" Anyway, so I went in the next night to do the eyelashes and things and said, "How now, brown cow?" And he didn't get it.
But you asked me what it's like, you know, being with Maggie is, you know, it's working with the best, because she is the best.
No.
She is. She's the best.
I know that's not true.
So and before you film or before you go on stage, you're getting, like, fantastic nuggets about Noel Coward and Laurence Olivier, or being taught Polari by Kenneth Williams, or working with Betty Davis.
Yeah.
And she's really naughty as well.
But the thing
I
is,
believe
you have
that.
had this extraordinary career, and you know, I mentioned the Oscars in the introduction and things, but Harry Potter, weirdly...
Oh, and I gotta pause right there. I will pause. I feel horrible. Who the hell am I to pause dames? But that being said, so another reason I want to watch Graham Norton tonight, just side note, if you didn't catch the intro, is because, like I said, these compilations, you just can't help but feel better after you watch them. I always get a little blue after Halloween because Halloween is one of my favorite holidays, probably my actual favorite holiday. And I took down everything in the background, so the room looks very empty to me right now, but I left my Harry Potter candles just for now. Just for now. I'm not ready yet for those. They'll come down soon, probably before the next video, but I left them up, and I'm so glad I did now because, you know, I mean, now that I see old McGonagall over here, it just seems fitting. I love her so much. She's so great.
But that did sort of change your life in a way.
Well, yes, a lot of very small people kind of used to say hello to me, and that was nice. And it was a whole different lot of people.
Yes. But also so weird that they'd only know you for that one thing, like you'd never existed before.
No, I never had. And except one kid
I think I've seen this part before. It's familiar anyway.
Were you really a cat? And I heard myself say, "Just pull yourself together."
Oh my God.
How could I have been? Anyway.
It's so good. I think I've heard that story before, but I don't remember that being the way they ended. Oh, so good. They always go so quick. And like, I mean, I'm so grateful that they're out there, but it's just that every time I start watching one, you know, I think, oh, it's only going to be, you know, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is. And then every time it just flies by because, again, so entertaining. Now, the crux of this compilation, UK versus the USA as far as acting legends go. Obviously, Graham Norton is going to be a little biased given where he comes from with Ireland. As many of you have pointed out, I always say he's British. I know he's not British. Irish, the show I believe is British, but I won't even say that because I'll get like smacked back down again. But anyway, my point is I think he's got more allegiance to that side of the pond than this side of the pond. So I can't help but think it was skewed a little bit that way because I think about we had Meryl Streep repping the USA, Harrison Ford. Who am I forgetting? Was it just those two? Because then we also had on the other side, I mean, we got, you know, come on, Judi Dench, Maggie Smith, Ian McKellen, you know. When you got to weigh those out, I think we kind of know which side we're ending up on. But then we also had Morgan Freeman, who is like an amazing orator, as we saw, right next to Michael Caine, also another amazing orator in his own way. I mean, listen, if I got to say who I'm picking from this particular video, I got to give a slight, you know, win to the UK on this one. I mean, it's the Dames. It's the Dames. I watched, if you didn't see a previous video I did, I think I talked about watching Lunch with the Dames or Afternoon with the Dames or whatever it was, where it was her, Judi Dench, Joan Plowright, who I believe was Olivier's wife, and I think they talk about that a little bit in that special, if I remember correctly. Was drinking a little bit while I watched it, so who knows. And then also the other woman, Eileen Atkinson, I think is her name. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure I finally learned it also from The Crown in a performance that I really enjoyed. But yeah, again, this was another wonderful compilation, thanks to the Graham Norton folks that put this out there. I like that this one was longer with each segment. So a couple I had seen pieces of, but this was nice because even though I'd seen some of those pieces, had not seen other parts of these segments. So it was still something new in each one. A couple of them with Morgan Freeman, with Harrison Ford, those were completely new to me. Michael Sheen, I really liked him. I know he wasn't the focus, but he to me is Tony Blair. When I think about Tony Blair, I actually think about him before I think about actual Tony Blair for a second. I mean, my mind just goes there first. But anyway, all that to say, amazing compilation once again. I'm so glad I got to watch this. I'm so glad you watched it with me. Let me know your thoughts. That is my most important and favorite part of doing these things. It's how I learn who these folks are. There's one with glasses I didn't recognize. I don't recall even seeing her in the clips before, so I didn't know who that was. I'm pretty sure most other folks I kind of knew. My Josh Whitcomb, who I love so much, little Joshy. But pretty much everyone else I knew, so it might be a first. Given the limited number of clips, that's not saying much, but I'll still take the win in that regard. So again, let me know your thoughts on this. What are your favorite moments from this particular compilation? Do you have any other interesting stories about the folks we saw? You guys always have great things to say about Jack Whitehall. I still want to see a lot of his stuff. Thank you for your recommendations on that. Please keep those coming. But more than anything, again, I certainly appreciate you taking some of your valuable time and spending it with me today. I hope you have a great rest of the day/night wherever you are, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble.